Hey, welcome back to my channel. Michelle Mahoney here. If you're new, I talk about lifestyle, books, day-to-day personal growth, things like that. In today's video, I want to talk about what somebody had emailed me and asked me. Let me just get started and say I'm not a medical professional. I have gone to school for medical assisting. I did that for a few years. I'm in the behavior world. I have a little bit of experience, but I am not a medical professional where I could be giving therapeutic advice in the sense of a professional standpoint. I just like to put that out there so no one can come at me and say, oh, well, Michelle said this. I only can speak from experience. I can speak from what I've gone through, what has worked for me, what medical professionals have told me to do, or therapists and things like that. And so when I share information on here, it's because I have personally experienced it and it has worked for me, and that's why I'm sharing it with you. Let's just get that out there, okay? Okay, now that I've clarified all the, things that could potentially get me sued or whatever, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you what somebody emailed me and asked me. And this is actually not the first time. I was actually asked this in public ones too when I was selling my books at a craft fair. But the question is, how do I help somebody who's going through a difficult time? And so when I was asked this question in public, my immediate thought was to go to and say, I'm not a medical professional. I can just tell you what I have experienced and what I would say to somebody who was potentially trying to help me back in the day when I was struggling. And quickly a nurse was also at my table and said, honey, you don't have to be a medical professional in order to give advice. Like, you're giving advice based on your experience, and it seems like you are going to know what you're talking about. They were talking about and referring to my book, Fighting Darkness. And that is a book that I put out that pretty much sums up a lot of the trauma that I had gone through in my life, and, moving from then to now, and how you don't have to be in that state of depression forever. I'm not saying that you're going to be happy every single day of your life. Like, that's unrealistic. But there are moments in our life that we can choose a different path that will lead to happiness. That's what I mean when I say choose happy. What I mean is, if you can choose, I'm going to be miserable and angry at this person for the rest of the day, or I can choose to accept what the situation is and then move on and choose to do and think about other things for the rest of the day. That's what I mean when I say choose happy. That's what it means for me. I'm not, pretending like depression isn't there or that sad moments aren't there. I'm not happy all day long every day. Like, that would be amazing, but that's not real life. And so what I said to this person and what I emailed back to this person is, the best thing you could do for somebody who is struggling, in my opinion, is to be there for them without judgment, without talking. You don't, just because somebody is venting to you about something that's going on in their life, it does not mean that you actually have to give them a response. They may not be actually looking for the answer or the solution. They just need to get it off their chest and tell somebody else that they trust. And so if somebody confides in you, it's because they trust you, especially if you've ever had that moment where you confide in a stranger about all the things that are going on in your life. And then you may think to yourself, like, whoa, why did I just tell you all that stuff? It is because you can trust that person not to go back and say it to the people who you're talking about, because they're a stranger. They don't know about your life. They don't know about the people you just said to. If you kind of think back to the movie Forrest Gump, right? Forrest is sitting on that bench talking to that woman for God only knows how long. And he's just kind of like telling her all about his life. He can trust her because she's really no one significant in his life. I mean, he actually talks to several people on the bench when I think about it that way. But all those people, it's more comfortable to talk to somebody who doesn't really know, because you can just get it out. And that's what somebody who is struggling needs. No matter what their struggle is, sometimes they just need somebody to be there for them and to listen and to, receive without judgment. I mean, facial expressions, body language, that's like the largest percentage of communication we have is through body language. And so if somebody's starting to tell you something that, may be absolutely horrifying to you, and your face immediately goes to, that's judgment. Like, right there. You may not mean to, but that's why you have to kind of go into the situations with having an open mind, an open heart, and saying, hey, you can tell me whatever you need to tell me. You can trust me. I'm going to be here for you. And then you really have to work on that body language, the facial expressions, and just be open to whatever they're going to tell you. And depending on what that person is going through in their journey, it might be some really devastating things to hear. And so if you're not ready to hear those kinds of things without judgment, then please lead that person into the direction of somebody who can do that. And I'm telling you, honestly, sometimes medical professionals are not the first one that people are ready to talk to. They are definitely the most qualified, but that doesn't mean somebody's ready to go talk to a medical professional. I know for me, that is not the first person I went to talk to. That was like the least person I wanted to talk to. I did not want to go into a doctor's office and make an appointment and sit in the office and do all those things. That was not for me. Later on in my life, as I grew up and understood that, yes, I do need help from somebody who can give me like medical advice, then I was able to do that. But initially, especially for kids, that's a really hard thing to do. And so my answer to that question is, whether this be your kid, your neighbor, your friend, somebody you work with, whoever it is, if you can just be the open ear and listen and, you know, just kind of recognize and have empathy. These aren't giving answers to their solutions. You know what I mean? Like they're not, you don't have to give them an answer of what to do or, you know, say, well, you should do this, or I've been through this. Yes, it's nice to be able to relate to people, but in the moment of devastation, the best thing you can do is just listen and acknowledge their feelings. Wow. You know, something like, that sounds really difficult, or that sounds really devastating, or that must be really hard of what you're going through right now. Just acknowledge what they're saying to you, what their feelings are. You can't change what people are feeling. Even if, let's just pretend that somebody's talking to you and you maybe don't believe what they're saying, or you think they're over exaggerating their story or something like that. How do you handle a situation like that is by doing the same exact thing. Just acknowledging it and, you know, understanding, you know, let them know that you understand what they're saying and how upsetting that must be. And if I can do anything, please let me know. Like, you can definitely still say things like that. But calling somebody out or telling somebody that they're doing something for attention, those are definitely the wrong way to go about it. Even if you're angry at that person, if you're in a state of anger, you shouldn't even be trying to talk to them yet, because you're not going to be open to hearing what they have to say. And so it's just the best thing you can do is listen. It really is. Like, you just have to listen to that person and accept for what they're saying to you. That is literally the best thing that you could do. If you have resources or other people that they could reach out to, that is definitely something you could say, hey, you know, I have a friend who I think could really relate to you and maybe help or give some insight to what you're going through. Would you like their information? Or would you like me to send them in your direction? That kind of thing. Because they might be like, no, you know, or yeah, please tell me what I can do. And so just having the resources and having maybe somewhere that they could potentially go, or someone they could talk to, or just offering, you know, sounds, you know, like really difficult. Like, what can I do? Is there anything I can do to help you in this situation? I hate to see you struggling like this. I want to be able to help you. What can I do? And they might say nothing. And you have to accept that. You can't push somebody to get help that they're not willing to get, because it's not going to work that way. I want to include here, I will write down in the comments down below. This is not sponsored or anything like that, but I did come across this site, I believe on TikTok. Another like popular mom, if I could think about it, I'll put it down below, her name but down below, but she has mentioned that there's this app called White Flag, and you can go on there anonymously and you can find other people who are going through similar things, and you can find groups and people to talk to, and, you know, maybe even just putting your question out there and asking for advice and asking for help, and people are able to go on who have also experienced things like that, and they can, you know, kind of give you advice. And of course, there's all kinds of resources out there for getting other help, but sometimes the most relatable help is through other people who, you know, can, you know, just relate to you and just listen to you. And that sometimes is like the first step for a lot of people. It's just having that relatability, that you're not alone. You're not the only one going through something. Everyone's going through something. It's just sometimes people's something is really, really difficult. And sometimes somebody's something, it may be a little bit less difficult to others. So it really just depends, but we all have trauma. We all have difficult times. We all have things that we've gone through. And so some is just maybe, you know, considered severe, and some may be a little bit more, you know, delicate depending on who you are. But everybody should still be able to express themselves in the way that they see fit. And you can't tell anyone how to feel. So just remember that at the end of the day. But I want to put that app in there. And then also I do have a group on Facebook. It's called Personal Growth with Michelle Mahoney. And it's just a safe place that I want to have for people to come to and, you know, share their feelings and experiences, and maybe, you know, even give tips to help each other out. Just really personal growth in general of how you can become a better person. And there's like over 400 people in that group. So we're really just working on, you know, sharing stories and sharing different things that we're doing and talking about just personal growth in general and how you can help that. And then obviously I'm a reader, and so I've read a lot of books, and I have different information like that I like to share and help people with, because, you know, we're all in this life together, whether we live near each other or not. And so I just wanted to reach out and answer that question. And if you have any other questions or things that I could specifically give guidance to or answer, please let me know. I want to be able to make content that is helping others and giving you insight to different things. And I have gone through quite a lot of different things. So I feel like I'm in a place where I could help other people do that. And that's why I put myself out there and share the things that I've gone through and share some things that have helped me overcome those things, or even, you know, battle the anxiety day to day. So if you have any questions, definitely reach out. Definitely join the group if you're interested in personal growth, and tell people about the White Flag app if they're needing help. It's a great way to reach out to others without having to like put all your information out there. So I want to thank you so much for watching this video. And if it was helpful, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe.